Okay, so welcome again to back to the video blog on the book of Judges. Going to take a look a little bit on Judges chapter 9 here. A couple of things that you might want to remember. There's Ephraim is the location of where most of this is happening. You recall Ephraim was the place where Joshua had his last council. Ephraim is the tribe of which Joshua is a part of, where he is buried. Ephraim has had a few instances in previous chapters of being really great at battle, maybe not showing up for battle in certain circumstances, but indeed, especially with Gideon, they had a little bit of back and forth. And Gideon was more or less supported them, saying that you guys did a really good job in previous battles, and so you don't need to worry about this. I got this. But Ephraim was still considered to be a force to be reckoned with, really. So Abimelech, after Gideon dies, Abimelech is one of the sons of Gideon, which, by the way, he is the son of a concubine who was in Shechem, and you know that Gideon actually didn't live in Shechem, so it's to be understood that Gideon's wife there was still living with her father, and in doing so, be it for peace in the land or whatever the reason, he took her as his wife. Regardless of that, if she doesn't live with Gideon, that would indicate that whatever offspring comes from her would be considered the lowest on the scale of all of the sons of Gideon. So that puts a bit of a context in it. And now his mother is saying, well, who's going to take care of me when I'm old? So sure enough, that's exactly the mentality that she instills in her son, saying that you are of a royal line, you deserve it, you're really important, and so you should really take this opportunity when Gideon dies and become king yourself. So basically instilling in her own son a sense of entitlement, a sense of desire to become king by any means necessary, and therefore it would secure herself riches and prestige when she gets old and is no longer able to do anything under her own power. So that's how this starts. She puts it in his mind that he should become royalty. So then he goes to the other people in Shechem, and he says to them, if you want to consider yourselves royalty, then advance through me, through Abimelech. Because if we don't take this opportunity now, somebody else will, and you'll be serving under them. Better that you serve under me, one of your kinsmen. So the people say, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. So what they do is they go to the Baal Bereth, which is the place where the idol Baal is resting, and it's usually behind locked doors. And so they would unlock the doors, and inside of that's where they would keep the treasury of the town. And the reason why that is because they consider Baal to be a god, so the god would look over the riches in the town. And they take 70 pieces of silver. 70 pieces of silver was enough for Abimelech to hire a bunch of scallywags. But kind of like when Jack Sparrow gets his band together and that kind of honor among thieves. They're all a bunch of scallywags. They have no scruples of their own. And so when he gets them together, I remember, actually, it kind of reminds me a little bit about if you've seen Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. They say, what do you mean the King Richard has hired... King John has hired the Irish. They drink each other's blood and they eat each other's bones, and they're just a bunch of scallywags in and of themselves. Those are the caliber of people that Abimelech uses to achieve his means. So he does it. He gets these people together. He goes into the house of Gideon, which is in another location where Gideon lived, and he takes the 70 sons and he puts them the sons. I don't know. I'm not sure if it says how many sons there were. No, it just says, oh yeah, 70 men. 70 men, 70 pieces of silver. Weird. Anyway, so he takes these scallywags and he puts all the sons of Gideon to the stone, basically killing them on stones, crushing their heads on the rock. So out of the 70 men, 70 brothers, there was one person. Jotham was the only one left, and he flees, he hides, and Abimelech basically reigns for 3 years. Now, again, we're still remembering that this is the book of Judges. That the entire book starts off basically saying that in that time there was no king, for God was king. And so, remembering that, where in this circumstance did they consult God in any of this? Well, not at all. And they did it by means of sneaky, underhanded deeds. They took money from a false god. They hired people of ill reproach. They killed all the people that were in the way that could be take this kingship before them, other than Jotham, of course. And he reigns for 3 years. Now, again, it doesn't say that he was a judge. It doesn't say that he did anything good for the land of Israel. He just assumed the position of king.